This time on Bondi Rescue, a woman is pulled lifeless from the water.
Tell me what day it is.
A beginner surfer learns a painful lesson. Lifeguards race against the clock to save a stricken surfer.
If it's not treated the right way, you've only got minutes to live.
At the middle of the beach, Evan spots volunteer lifesavers running to an incident.
Hey, Hop, can you see why are those puppies running?
Stand by, mate. We've got something going on.
I thought something serious was up because usually when they rush, it's something's going on.
Closing in, he identifies a surfer being carried out of the water, barely conscious. In crowded surf, Charlotte has been run over by another surfer. Bondi is one of the most crowded surf spots in the world. Beginners are everywhere and accidents are common.
Do you remember what happened?
I took a board on the head, but it...
So she was going in and out of consciousness. The fact that she was going in and out was quite serious.
Tell me what day it is.
Sunday.
Good girl, good girl.
It starts here and it goes back. It's just a bump.
It could be a bump.
You don't know that, though?
You don't know that.
You get an airboat down to check you out.
No.
You're going to have to, because if you've had a head crash, you don't know how serious it could be. We wanted to get her up to the tower immediately. We're going to treat it as head wound concussion. Good girl. When you get in the car, we finally got her into the buggy, and then she just went on me. Yeah, she's nauseous, right? I was like, she's gone.
Charlotte's surfing buddy Johan rushes to investigate.
Hey mate, it was definitely good for her to have some support because she was terrified. Come sit here if you can, darling. So what's your name, bud? Johan.
An ambulance has been called, but Charlotte's condition is worsening quickly.
She went into some serious shock and she was shaking. Adrenaline kicks in and they start to panic. I want you to...
Yeah.
Where are you in pain? I just tried. She's in pain, yeah. She was going in waves of pain and blood pumping through her head. So we wanted to give her oxygen just to calm her down.
Let's go.
Charlotte's boyfriend arrives. The misplaced kiss doesn't bring any relief.
As soon as the paramedics come, we kind of hand over the patient to them and we tell them all the information, we've gathered, what we think has possibly happened.
Information is vital to paramedics, but Charlotte struggles to stay conscious.
Hi, Charlotte. My name's Henry. Please tell me what happened.
I took a surfboard in the head.
Yeah, okay. You mind if I have a feel on the back of your neck? Just gonna hit it on the back, yeah.
Paramedics confirm that Charlotte needs further examination. Only after CT scans in hospital will the full extent of Charlotte's injury be revealed.
It is quite a dangerous craft, and when you've got a large amounts of surfers together, especially the ones learning to surf, it's a recipe for disaster.
This is the real wipeout. And lifeguards are left to deal with the carnage.
It's been happening all day. There's that many people in the water.
The actual board straight on the top of the head, contusion, it could knock a person out. The rail in the head, the same. Any head shot, imagine that in the head. I've actually seen where guys have been hit by the nose and the nose has snapped off in the wound. One of these in the eye, totally blind.
Whoa, you're very lucky, man.
Split the eyelid, the bottom side of the eyelid, about an inch.
Chris was paddling out when he was run over by two beginner surfers.
I looked up and the guys were paddling back out, so... Nice blokes. Yeah, we'll have a look at it now. And that's pretty quiet, so... What do you do?
A lot of people don't realise that if you are beginning to surf, they hang with themselves and they want to have a laugh, but they don't realise, like, boards just go everywhere and they just hit everyone and anyone. And even if they've got leg ropes on or not, it's not really that safe, so... There's about 1 mil of skin left before it gets to your eye.
Thank goodness for that.
Chris heads for specialist treatment at Sydney Eye Hospital.
We got a big fin chop here. The femoral artery too, so we get an ammo down here straight away.
Right on pack-up time at Bondi, a surfer has suffered a fin chop from her own board. First responders and lifeguards suspect she severed her femoral artery.
What do you need? What do you need? Pressure damages and a tourniquet. Mate, it's a really bad cut. It's the deepest cut. The femoral artery is the biggest artery in the body and it runs down the thigh of the leg. If you cut it, you can lose all of your blood in a very short time. If it's not treated the right way, you've only got minutes to live. Within 30 seconds, Joel and Jacko brought the trauma kit, used mainly for shark attacks, and I've never seen that kit had to get used. All the big bandages and dressings, tourniquet, things like that to deal with major wounds. The first responders had got a towel and they just wrapped it really tightly around their legs and there was just blood coming through the towel.
One of the first responders is a doctor who was surfing nearby. She's been applying pressure to the wound to staunch the bleeding.
It wasn't until we undressed the towel then we could see how bad the cut was. It was the worst I've ever seen, for sure. Massive, deep wounds. I need more solid. It was as deep as, I've ever seen anything go. We then had a deeper look into the cut, and at this point I knew straight away that the femoral artery had not been cut open or damaged. So that was a big moment of relief, and we all looked at each other and we said, okay, we're gonna get this girl off the beach.
All right, we're looking good here. Yeah, okay, trust me, everything might be all right.
22-year-old Carolina is on holidays from the Czech Republic. Right now, she's struggling to comprehend her brush with death.
We're covering a buggy on our way out.
And at this stage, we knew she was in good hands because the paramedics came there so quickly. It was the best response from the paramedics I've ever seen. Ambulances there within minutes. The first responders applied that towel and they just had it so tight, like they had all their body weight on her leg with the towel wrapped up.
Makes me scared about...
It does, eh? I can't believe that doesn't happen more often though. Like,
she was millimetres away from dying, which is something that gets thrown around a lot, close to dying, all this stuff, but like she really was that close to dying.
If it wasn't for Dr. Kate's quick response, things could have turned out very differently.
There was a lot of blood in the water, and then when we got here, we just see the big cut on her leg. So we just took the board off her and tried to help her. I learned it from Bondi Rescue. How you put them on a board and float them back in.
Usually it's Irish people getting rescued on the shore.
We always have. It's always Irish that end up in Bondi Rescue. Going out too far, can't swim.
Reversing the rules.
3 days after her life-threatening fin chop injury, Carolina is up and about.
Surgery, it took like 2 hours, stitches in many levels.
A part of me still just doesn't believe that it didn't hit the femoral artery. It was such a big fin cut and it just went so deep into her leg.
I actually got a flight today to Prague, so thank you. I don't want to see you ever again.
Yeah. Okay, let's shake on that, all right? Yeah, we don't want to see you either. For her to come back and say thank you, it's a great feeling.
Then, the inevitable.
This guy's got a head gash.
Gash on top of his head, bro.
39-year-old Tal, a Bondi local, collided with another surfer's board.
A couple of waves came through, someone jumped on a wave, and just as he turned around, the wave kind of closed out, and the guy was kind of coming straight out. Nowhere to go, really.
More disturbing than the blood are other symptoms.
Can't see properly out of this eye either.
Can't? He's going to get the oxy on him. He's pretty dizzy. He's got a pretty decent head gash.
Pressure on the wound contains blood loss.
He is bleeding, but they're containing the bleeding, so an ambulance ASAP.
Yeah, copy, H. Thanks, mate.
Let me go. Pull that out, H.
I'll open the back of him.
I'll tell you what, I'll take your board, okay?
Cool, thanks. He's going to kill me, man.
Oxygen helps minimise shock as a pressure bandage stops the bleeding. An intensive care paramedic arrives within minutes.
It's very blurry.
Just open your eyes nice and wide for me.
Tal's pupils are tested to see if he's suffered any neurological damage.
The problem with head injuries, because they're a big impact, they don't always affect you straight away. Okay, so you may, worst case scenario, you may be bleeding inside your brain, and obviously in your head there's only so much space you can bleed into, so if you bleed it pushes your brain.
After an urgent phone call, Tal's wife makes it to the tower.
But better now. I got a shock when I walked in.
It's definitely one of the worst head cuts I've seen.
It's a very good argument now for maybe wearing a helmet, because this is the kind of thing we can do.
All of us guys are surfers, and we see the accidents and just shake our head. Surfer etiquette's the most important thing, because if you don't have any guidelines or rules to abide by, well then everything's out the window. People will end up getting killed.
Head injuries are dangerous enough on land. In the water, they can be even more lethal.
This guy could have a fractured skull. He could have been killed instantly. And Maxi and I often look at each other and go, mate, when's the first death from a surfboard hit?
Tests will soon reveal the extent of Tal's injury.
On the shore, a surfer has been reported in severe pain.
We saw a few surfers waving their hands down the beach, so me and Reidy jumped in a buggy and we drove down to South Bondi, and there we found a young Korean surfer who heavily injured his leg while trying to learn how to surf.
We'll just take the weight, we'll lift you up. You just put any pressure on it at all? Oh! Yeah. It's all right. All right, we'll just try and just
thank you. Evan is on a working holiday from South Korea. Learning to surf in Australia has been a lifelong dream.
Thank you so much, guys.
He had his first lesson yesterday. Today, he tried surfing unassisted.
It was pretty rough, pretty dangerous. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite the day of learning how to surf at Bondi.
You alright?
Hey, essentially, if you want to get some ice and the bed ready, we're going to bring him up and have him in the shower.
Whether or not Evan's surfing dream is over will be determined by the extent of his injury.
Can't put any weight on it? Just a little bit.
We decided we would just rest him for 20 minutes, because that's usually a pretty telling sign when you have fresh injuries.
We'll chuck that on you to keep you warm. Thank you so much. No worries, mate. So yeah, 20 minutes, and then we'll have a look again. Thank you. So you've lost a fin, yeah.
This is my fault. I was just trying to practice by myself, but it was just kind of accident to go far. I'm a working holiday visa, so surfing is really big thing in Australia. So I wanted to learn surf before I come back to my country, and it happened.
We get a lot of international tourists who just want to, tick the bucket list so they've surfed at Bondi Beach.
In Korea, there are no beach for the surfers, just only one. So this is my opportunity for learning surfing. I love it. Even I'm not good at surfing.
Evan must go to hospital for scans.
Would you like us to call you an ambulance?
But getting there poses a problem.
No, I don't have insurance. Maybe I need to come back to my hospital and maybe take a rest. I think I need to go to the medical center, but I don't have insurance. That's a really big problem for me.
On his own in a foreign country, this injury could be the end of Evan's dream trip to Australia.
Maybe I need to come back to my country. Maybe. That is the worst situation, the worst.
And he chose to he got no insurance, so he chose to get to the hospital himself. You be all right? Well, I hope your knee gets better.
Yeah, I hope so.
Good luck with it, Ev.
I was just cruising on the beach. All of a sudden, this guy starts running up to me. And he was a bit in distress.
What? Maybe someone else come down here. Something else is going on down the southern end of the beach. I'm just heading to it now.
Seconds count here. It's between life and death for most people, so me and Maxi just raced out of the tower.
If you can't beat him, tell us not to freak out.
Looks like it's a cut. It's just a cut. Hey, Gons, can you just confirm it's just a cut? Yeah, sorry, this guy, he couldn't hardly speak English. I'll keep you posted.
Beardy and I were in the tower and we could, you know, I could see that the guy was holding onto his head and it was a fin shop. He's just sitting there with his surfboard.
Whoa! Yeah, they just stopped.
Before you even knew it, the two young blokes, and they bolted.
Why did they just stop?
They don't listen.
How are you, mate? You've been in better places, haven't you?
He had a bit of a nick on his head and blood everywhere. Head cuts, they bleed a lot when they've been in the water. Once I've checked it, I realised it was just a little tiny fin chop to the back of the head. Up front of the Central, we won't need any ambo down here. All good, thanks guys.
Hey, ATV, can you come back to the rip?
You don't need to go that fast to go to something that's just a head cut. That's young blokes, mate, just anxious and keen. And
in that rip in front of the main
there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes you've got to stop, take a breath and think about things.
The patient's name was Chan Jin. He was from Korea. We cleaned him up, bandaged him up, mummified him, and off he went to the medical centre. Box got cranky because he thought we reacted too quickly.
Listen, saying stop. Stop.
Us rushing off like that, you know, maybe next time take it a bit slower.
You never see a paramedic running down the beach.
You never win the war by sending all the troops to the one spot either.
A guy ran up to the tower. Let us know that there was someone with a fin chop.
We've got a lady who's crouched over who looks like she's in a lot of pain, huh?
I've seen many fin chops. It does happen.
It's a deep nick. It's a real good split, you know.
You're all right. It's a big one, and we'll fix you up, all right?
Usually there's a lot of small ones, but the big nasty ones are the ones you don't want to see. Glove up, mate.
If a seasoned lifeguard is telling you to glove up, you don't muck around, you don't think about it twice, you do it.
Oh, it looks like a fin chop on her thigh. She looks like she's pretty scared.
The femoral artery runs down the upper thigh. If severed, a person can bleed out in minutes.
So, I need you to show me, okay? I need you to show me it. I need you to let go.
The wound can't be treated without a visual assessment.
I need you to let go. I need you to let go for me.
When she finally took her hands off it, it was the craziest laceration I've ever seen.
Yeah, Corey's pretty bad.
It was really, really bad cut. Really deep.
Yeah, Chapo, can you please get an ambulance, mate?
Any description that we can give them?
Yeah, mate, left leg, and get them down here.
Blood flow wasn't too bad. It's really weird with big cuts like that. You'd think there'd be a lot of blood happening, and thankfully it wasn't. Ready?
Yeah, all right.
A number 15 bandage is applied. It's the biggest dressing in the lifeguard's first aid kit.
Our job kind of becomes to make them as comfortable as possible before they can get it fixed.
Emmanuelle is from France.
All right, we need to get you into here, okay?
It's her first time to Bondi and her first time attempting to surf.
They'd rented a couple of boards. You know, even though they're soft boards, the fins are pretty hard.
Let me know if you feel like doing it, okay?
Emmanuel's brother was watching from the beach when the accident happened.
So when the wave arrived, the surf on the right, and when he fall, he cut the skin.
Want to lie down? You're okay. You're okay.
Paramedics must assess the wound
You've been surfing today, yeah?
and ensure no major arteries are at risk.
Sorry, my love, I just need to get this bandage out of the road.
We got another look at it and was just like, It's actually a lot worse than I thought.
Oh, welcome to Bondi, hey? Okay, just gonna have a little look. Oh, okay, so we've got a skin tear.
I could see why she was holding on so tightly. It's probably one of the worst ones I've seen.
We're not going to do anything with it. We're just changing the dressing. We'll wrap it back up and we'll take you up to the hospital.
Emmanuel requires microsurgery in hospital.
Thank you, Bondi.
Her first trip to Bondi will leave a lasting impression.
I think she might even have a scar to remind her for the rest of her life.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
Au revoir.
Bye-bye, lifeguards.
Au revoir, au revoir.